Hi, guys. I know I'm a slack ass motherfucker. Uh, I, I don't know. I ain't got no excuse for you. I planned to do a video for the past Raw. It wasn't even too bad though. It was alright. It had its talking points. Um, one of which talking points I'm gonna address in a video. Um, pretty much done with bareback, that's for sure. But sometime, possibly today, maybe tomorrow, um, let's see how I feel at the end of this video. I'm going to do a video about Daniel Bryan. Um, so all you internet nerds should enjoy that one. But this video is about the above subject, just because it's a video I've kind of wanted to do for a while. Uh, Pretty much ever since they debuted. You know, some people like Food Killer 99 call them jobbers and scrubs, or bitches in leather, pussies in leather as he now calls them. Uh, you know, um, Sledge Daddy calls them a waste of time, a waste of space, as most people call them. Uh, but you and I, well, actually, I call them jobbers and scrubs too, but you may call them or refer to them as aces and eights. I haven't got a clue what is the point of aces and eights. You know, usually when a faction comes about, it's because they want to establish new stars. You know, if you think back at some really successful factions of past, you think of things like Evolution. To this day, it's still one of my favorite ever factions, along with maybe NWO. But to this day, it's still probably the perfect way of doing a faction. You had an older established guy, an older legend, sorry, I should say. Then you had the current, the present, the established guy. Then you had two younger guys. And those younger guys, you could tell from day dot they were main eventing guys for the company. Today, where are those guys? You now have Triple H who, well, is Triple H. You have Randy Orton who, if you, he's their top guy. Never mind the fact that they don't know what they're doing with him at the moment. If you can stop getting himself in trouble, maybe they would. But he is he's a top guy for the company. You have Batista who, in my opinion, his heel run just before he left the company was some of his best work. For the very first time, he had me completely and utterly invested in his character. He was perfect as that little run. I think it was in 2009 when he left the company. Um, so I mean, that's the perfect way of bringing young guys onto the map. Um, Even, I mean, some people may say, "Oh, but what about main event mafia?" You know, main event mafia, you kind of knew what you were getting with main event mafia. You know, I always thought main event mafia was a clusterfuck. It was never a faction I particularly liked, but at the same time, they were all main eventers. You knew what the point of them was. But even when you think of things like Fortune, look at Fortune. Fortune helped establish people like your um, oh, excuse me, your Cowboy James Storm, your Robert Roods. You know, it helped establish those people to help them become main eventers and serious main eventers. I won't mention AJ Styles because AJ Styles is like their John Cena in TNA. But, you know, it helps elevate those two to another level. And although they drop the ball sometimes to James Storm, that is what a faction is supposed to do. It's supposed to establish people. Even when you look at something like the Shield today in WWE, why do you think they're liked by so many people? Because so many people can see the potential in each and every single one of them. You know, even in Roman Reigns, who's not the internet darling that the other two are, you can see what they're trying to do with Roman Reigns. Just a big powerhouse Batista type of character. And I don't care what anyone says, you know, you're not going to get by in a wrestling company just having the same high flying, skippity skip, I'm going to move at 100 miles an hour type of wrestler. You need to vary it up. You need to have those big powerhouses as well. So it makes a match. It makes it for a better match against a smaller person. You know, some of my favorite matches were Rey Mysterio against Kane. I always thought they had really good chemistry together in the ring. But that's a perfect example of how a big guy and a little guy can work together, but how a big guy is needed in the business. And you know what WWE like? They like that Roman Reigns type of look. So I honestly think he's a future main eventer, and Seth Rollins, in my opinion, he looks like your Hardy type. You know, I mean, not to mention with Roman Reigns, he seems to be getting over with ladies. And with Seth Rollins, you know, you have someone who is your Jeff Hardy type, quick in the ring, very capable. Um, slowly but surely is improving his mic skills. Um, I honestly think in a couple of years he's going to be your new face for the company if they book him right. But I said it before, I'll say it again. He's your new John Cena, Seth Rollins. He really is. He's got the look. He's got the ability. He's well over with the fans. I honestly believe that if you're looking at future stars to kind of replace, to make him your future face, you note that I said it. He'll be your new face of the company in a few years' time. Give him 5 years. You watch. And then you have your Dean Ambrose, who I can't see will ever be anything but a heel, but a very good, very capable Roddy Piper type of heel. Very unorthodox, very kind of awkward. But again, you need that. You need someone different. You know, I hear a lot of rumors about the fact that, you know, he's not very well liked in the back because he carries himself like a star. I don't, I don't give a fuck if he's well liked in the back. I mean, quite frankly, if he carries himself like a star, that's going to show in the ring. That's going to show in front of the cameras. The reason I even mention all this is because you look at aces and eights today, and you just think to yourself, what the fuck are they trying to establish? You know, for me, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I was very happy when Bubba Ray got the world title. I thought, for me, he's deserved it more than anyone in TNA. Um, he's worked really hard over the last year. I've always thought he's played an amazing heel. Um, he has lost a lot of weight. He's a good worker. He is. He's an underrated worker, in my opinion, in the ring. I always think he makes certain baby faces look really good in the ring. But I don't buy this. Oh, people say some shit like, oh, you know, I was happy when he was the leader of the Aces and Eights. I wasn't. Because I thought to myself, people were, and I understand why people were happy. People were happy because they thought that he was going to elevate that group to his level. But when you have that many chumps in the ring, and that many chumps in the crew, you're not going to elevate them all to your level. Unfortunately, you're going to start to drop to their level. So now instead of people thinking, oh, you know, but Bubba Ray's amazing in that group, people are thinking, well, you know, they're all older guys. Bubba Ray's kind of success has all of a sudden become a negative. They see him as an older past guy, and he is a past guy. He is an older guy. He is a guy in his 40s. But unlike Sting, whose peak was about 15 years ago, and is still getting fucking title shots, you know, this is someone who can at least go through a match and look good in a match. He is someone who fully deserves his title shot, but doesn't deserve to be labelled as fucking idiots. And that pisses me off because you look at someone like Garrett Bishop. You know when someone comes on the camera and you just cringe for them, like whenever they talk, whenever they even look at the camera, you just cringe in embarrassment for them. That's Garrett Bishop. You know, people like Wes, I'm not a big fan. I have not seen anything in Wes that people should like. And you got Doc and Knox, who I thought were a fucking waste of space in WWE. I don't know what the fuck they're doing here. You got Bubba Ray, you got Devon, I should say. Devon, I never thought you really had anything, bruh. You always were the guy who got the tables. I'm sorry to say, but it's so true. You never had anything. Bubba was always the one with the talent out of the two of you. I'm sorry. You will always go down as part of the best tag teams in wrestling history, but it was always about Bubba Ray. And then you got Anderson, who I don't know what the fuck people like about Anderson. Me, I don't blame WWE for cutting him. I never found him interesting. I never bought into Anderson. So you literally have one star trying to elevate all these other guys, and it just makes you think. So, who out of those guys are you really going to establish? Garrett Bischoff and Wes Briscoe? That's your future of the company? You got to be kidding me, right? Anderson, you cut Anderson's legs underneath him when he was interesting to others. He was never interesting to me. When he was interesting to others at his peak, you cut the legs from out under him. People don't take him seriously no more. And you laboured him in this group. And then that's for the other two guys. I know what I said earlier about big guys. But these big guys have to have some sort of talent. Roman Reigns has a talent, and he's young. These guys are old. They just look like jackasses. They lumber around the ring. They're slow, lethargic. They're just terrible. I just don't understand what the point of them is. Their ratings killer. Like, fuck me. TNA never did solid ratings. But at least before these idiots were on the screen, they were doing 1.1s. Now they're doing 0.83s every single week. Cut this storyline off. Separate. I hope Bubba Ray doesn't lose his title before they finish this Aces and Eights storyline, because I would like to see what he does with it on his own. Because like I said before, I think he is deserving of the spot. I just think with this storyline, it's just terrible. It is terrible. I think it's easily the worst faction in wrestling history. And more importantly than anything, you could see Shield's endgame and how they would split them off eventually. Even with Nexus, alright, the way they did it was terrible, but they established a couple of guys. With Evolution, you saw their endgame. When Randy Orton won that title, you knew what was happening, you knew what the endgame was, you knew what the point of it was. What is Aces and Aces endgame? What is the point of Aces and Eights? My first real TNA video, and I wanted to do an Aces and Eights video for a long time. It's one of the things that has, to be honest, I haven't watched TNA in about a month or so because of this stupid ass faction. I find them so boring. I really find them boring. And I just wanted to do a video about that, really. Comment, subscribe up above, comment down below, like, hate this video, do what you want to do. And I'll be back soon, I promise. Take care. Peace.